pardon. Vous êtes political economist, Northwest University South Africa. Merci et bonsoir merci d'avoir accepté l'invitation d'Afrique Média.
Merci beaucoup et bonsoir à vos panélistes. Point de correction comme un point de départ. Oui. Je ne m'identifie pas comme séparatiste. Oui. You see, let me just switch quickly to English. These are some of this terminology
and go in English, yes.
Nomenclature that has been used before to kind of biaiser le débat. When you categorize people, you defer the positions which they take. I feel that if we are sitting on this platform, it's because we are trying to have a conversation around a conversation. I've listened to your whole presentation, the narrative around terrorists and separatists and repentant ADF, and some of the things which the people in the media in Cameroon have been using to beat the drum of war and to make the pathway to peace extremely difficult. If we are going to have a frank conversation, we must look at each other eyeball to eyeball and judge people on the strength of their ideas and their propositions, and not with the categorization that have typified the conversation within the media in Cameroon. I'm sorry, I needed to take up on that point so that we can recadrer le débat et commencer cet entretien sur la base de quelles sont les valeurs et quelles sont les idées qui sont idéales pour la construction du Cameroun. Donc vraiment, merci de m'avoir et je suis désolé de commencer cet débat sur ce point-là. Mais je croyais qu'il c'était très important de mettre ces points sur les îles parce que tant que le débat national it's biased with all these nomenclatures, we're not going to make progress.
Thank you pour vos précisions. My English is not fluent. That's why I prefer to speak in English, and that's why Louis Bidbank is here. It's not a categorization, no. Is the name usually the media use to use. Il ne s'agit pas vraiment de stigmatiser ni les uns ni les autres, mais il s'agit simplement évidemment pour nos échanges au cours de ces débats, au cours de cette émission, il s'agit simplement de pouvoir désigner les acteurs que vous êtes.
Tell us what you are up to at this particular moment. We're looking at the crisis in these two English-speaking regions. Dr. Nabila.
Thanks a lot for this opportunity to engage. Permettez-moi d'abord de revenir sur mon premier entretien avec Robert, juste pour... Le nom sur Robert, n'est-ce pas? Yoko panel, Yoko encore.
Non, Fred Bongo.
Yeah. Fred Bongo. Bon, camarade, je t'attaquais pas comme personne. J'appelais à plus de responsabilités pour les organes médiatiques du Cameroun. Tu sais, quand un pays est en situation de difficulté telle que nous traversons maintenant, les gens comme vous qui ont accès à l'oreille de la population sont appelés à plus de responsabilités. Donc, c'était le cadre de ma première intervention. Je veux juste deviner, je vais revenir sur ta question que vous venez me poser, mais permettez-moi juste de dire que je suis un peu triste de voir l'entretien qui se déroule devant nous entre mes frères. Je crois que sur un certain nombre de points qui ont été établis, je ne vais pas revenir là-dessus, parce qu'il y a des réponses qui ont été données ça et là. Je vais tout juste m'adresser à nos frères et sœurs, à la population camerounaise, pour dire que nous avons une histoire très compliquée. Les soldats qui sont morts à Bamessine dernièrement, les 15 soldats, c'était des pères de famille, c'était des maris, c'était les enfants des mamans. Les gens qui meurent chaque jour de tous les deux côtés sont des confrères. Et nous ne pouvons pas nous permettre de ne pas prendre en compte le fait que nous sommes en train de perdre les fils et les filles de ces nations. Cela devait nous appeler à plus de réserve dans certains de nos propos et à moins d'émotion. Nous avons là devant nous un problème qui est très très compliqué. Mais d'entrée de jeu, je veux contredire ce que l'une de mes frères ont dit à ce qui concerne cet aspect, que nous ne sommes pas dans une situation où nous sommes en train de parler d'une question de marginalisation. Le Cameroun a un problème de gouvernance. qui est compliqué, qui dans sa évolution voit le taux de tribalisme, la privatisation et comment dire, la tribalisation de l'État et ses ressources et qui conduit que nous sommes nous sommes en train de fonctionner et d'opérer un modèle qui n'est pas soutenable. Le problème du Cameroun à l'heure actuelle, c'est un problème de la gestion de diversité, de la construction d'un pays, de la chose nationale, d'une manière où chacun trouvera son compte. You know, defining our conceptualization of nation building and the nation state and nationalism and our Cameroonness from a perspective where everybody feels that this is representative of their specificity and their identity. And this is at the heart of the current Anglophone crisis. It's not a question of marginalization because, of course, if you look at just the tribalization of institutions of state, there are a whole range of tribes. Cameroon has, 250 odd tribes. So by every measure of marginalization, you're going to find certain people who are more marginalized by the current governance dispensation than Southern Cameroons can and have claim to. Southern Cameroonians, and I call them Southern Cameroonians, with a very specific historical reference of the parties that came together to convene the 1961 voluntary reunification to the rest of Cameroon. I'm not going to go into the history because the bulk of the people who are watching us understand that history. So there's a sense in which the people feel aggrieved out of the fact that the assets that they have brought into the union have been dissipated, aggrieved out of the fact that their personalities and their cultural heritage, their sense of oldness, who they are, is not being recognized in the way the issues of the state have been managed for the last couple of decades. So we can draw a conclusion that says that we have undertaken a nation-building project with certain tools of governance like regional distribution of representativeness within government that have resulted in the creation of certain allied groups that benefit from the national cake to the marginalization of the vast majority of the poor and disenfranchised. I like the analysis that people like Joe Neyosoma make on this issue. If Cameroonians are honest with themselves, you're going to realize that it is the people, the children of the poor, whether they belong to the Amber Boys or they belong to the Cameroon military, who are paying the price. And they are paying the price for the ongoing conflict and the ongoing situation on the ground. It is the children of the poor, les marginalisés, les laissés de la vie. Ce sont les enfants de peuple qui sont en train de perdre la vie dans cette histoire. Et nous devons arriver à un point où nous évoluons dans nos perceptions de ce qui se passe sur le terrain pour redéfinir, revenir sur cette conversation de la construction de la chose nationale. Hein? Il y a des gens qui disent que nous avons atteint l'indépendance et nous avons accueilli un statut d'un État, mais nous sommes dans un parcours de la construction de la nation. Et quand il faut construire la nation, je vais vous faire revenir dans les années 90. Quand durant la Coupe du Monde Italian 90, il y avait un sentiment de fierté, hein? Un sentiment de fierté qui allait du nord au sud, de l'est à l'ouest. Pourquoi? Parce que on avait le représentant du pays qui était en train de nous représenter valablement sur la scène internationale, sur la scène mondiale. This is the kind of nation building that we want to identify to. So let us not kid each other. Let's stop flattering each other. We are not proud of what we have at the moment. L'aéroport de Douala, c'est une honte. It's a mess. It's a fundamental mess. To think that you have people who travel to that airport and go and find all kinds of developed infrastructure in other countries and come back there and want to open up political platforms that talk about nationalism and patriotism. Bullshit. We should stop taking people for fools. There are fundamental elements that make for the pride of a people in a nation. Every other thing is semantics. C'est l'utilisation des mots. Je suis plus patriote. Tu es plus patriote que qui? Vous aimez le Cameroun plus que qui? J'aime le Cameroun plus que qui? Donc là, nous sommes en train d'avoir une conversation qui dit qu'il faut que ça cesse. Parce que les Camerounais ont des potentiels. Les Camerounais ont des potentiels. Si vous regardez dans toutes les instances, les institutions internationales, en Afrique, internationalement, c'est bourré de capacités camerounaises. We always exceed our quotas of professionals in every single international organization. There are more Cameroonian doctors in Germany than there are in Cameroon. There are more Cameroonian engineers in Europe, in America, than there are in Cameroon. These are national resources, whether they be francophones or anglophones, that need to come back and build that country. This is what this conversation is about. We're saying you need to create a space that we can all be proud of. It's not politics. I'm sorry, I love my brother Nick Santos. It's not about who is going to get access to the next cycle of elections so you can call yourself an excellence. Create a national entity, a national space that we can all be proud of. You know, you land in Douala Airport and you take your friends to go and use the toilet, you are embarrassed. Monsieur Roger, expliquez-moi, qu'est-ce qui dépasse une population de 25 millions de personnes d'avoir des toilettes qui sont propres? Et vous êtes là en train de parler des Amazoniens. Est-ce que ce sont les Amazoniens qui fait que la circulation à Douala ne coule pas? Est-ce que ce sont les Amazoniens qui fait que l'infrastructure qui a été dotée par Aïdjo à 7 pays et à 7 régimes n'ont pas été retrouvés depuis 30 ans? On parle même de quoi? Il faut que les Camerounais se réveillent. Il faut que nous passons dans une position où on sait discerner les débats.
Bravo, Gap.
Au-delà de cette question politique, nous sommes en train de nous politiser. Les Amazoniens sont montés.
Gap.
Les enfants qui sont en train de mourir, ce sont pas les... Is it not women who give birth to them?
Thank you, bro.
Si un véritable
you know, so I'm saying to conclude.
Yes, go ahead.
We have a very complicated history. It is our history. At the heart of this question is a decolonization process. It's a decolonization process that has failed. We have the possibility. Amazonians are of the view that we should go to the United Nations and go to the international community to come and solve the problem of how Anglophones are treated in Cameroon. I am saying we should go to Yaoundé and look at our Beti and Bulu brothers in the face and tell them that this country belongs to us too. C'est aussi notre pays. Et il faut tenir nos sentiments en compte. We have an understanding and an expectation of a life that we want to live. This is the essence of what this fight is about. Now, if you are comfortable living in a messed up toilet, landing in an infrastructure that doesn't function, and wearing a suit and going to call yourself excellence in the international community, that is not our conceptualization of being a Cameroon. And please give us an opportunity to build a Cameroon that we can all be proud of. This is the essence of this fight. Do not impose upon us your mediocrity. Because we are sitting with potential. Potential we want to see realized and maximized. Les enfants du Cameroun sont concernés, pour ceux qui sont concernés par les activités de la diaspora. La diaspora s'implique sur les choses du Cameroun. Pourquoi? Parce que nous sommes soucieux de voir un pays pour lequel nous pouvons être fiers. C'est ça l'essentiel. Pour la majorité des gens qui sont en diaspora, moi je gagne plus que 4 fois le salaire d'un enseignant de mon catégorie dans une université camerounaise. I couldn't give a damn about what's happening in Cameroon, but I'm patriotic. I love the country. I'm happy here. You know, I'm enjoying my life here. I'm established. I don't need Cameroon to be any person. But God brought me from this country. And He brought all these engineers and doctors and technicians. The bulk of the Cameroonian brain that is sitting in the diaspora, they're only saying one thing: create conditions for us to come and make that country a better country that we can all be proud of. This is the essence of what this fight is about, I believe. And I'm going to give you back the studio for my first intervention.
Merci à vous. Je voudrais donc me tourner vers vous, Président Bandakani. Il ressort des différentes prises de parole, un peu comme 3 voix. On a d'abord Dr Florentin Fanchet qui...
Merci vraiment beaucoup pour cette occasion encore d'intervenir. Je m'excuse directement du changement de lumière. We're having a thunderstorm here, so it sort of took out the lights here. I want to say this d'entrée de jeu. You see, Bandakani is a very articulate political analyst. Let me indulge him in some of the ideas that he put forward, and permit me to speak in English so that I'll be sufficiently fluent. Okay. You see, the problem with analysts like Bandakani is that they incarnate the very francophoneness of the system that they seem to be fighting against or failing to recognize its existence. You see, when you listen to Bandakani incarnates the arrogance of Francophone Cameroonians. And he does not recognize or realize the intensity of his arrogance. An intensity of arrogance that presupposes that he has ownership and mastery of historical facts that makes the rest of us dumb. I want to remind him that as far as the history of Cameroon is concerned, first of all, we need to acknowledge that Francophones and Anglophones, terminologies that I hate to use, were taught completely different histories as far as Cameroon is concerned. That's point number one. It is complete intellectual dishonesty on his part to suggest that 150 years ago, the notion of Cameroonness was superior to our understanding of our French and Anglo-Saxon heritage. The conceptualization of the nation state, the legitimacy of the government of Cameroon, that it sits today to say that Cameroon is one and indivisible, it's a function of a decolonization process that was recognized by the OAU in 1960, where African countries pre-independence agreed that the borders of countries will be crystallized as at independence. It is complete intellectual dishonesty for him to suggest that within 150 years old, we were a people as defined in international law. Because the essence of the legitimacy of the state of Cameroon is the statehood that it acquired at independence in 1960 that gives it legitimacy to speak for all the peoples of Cameroon in international instances. Cameroon's admission into the international community as a nation state derives from the legitimacy that it received at independence in 1960. You know, that was point number one. That is point number one. So there is 150 years ago, we were a community of people and tribes dispersed along a specific geographical location. A lot of migration has taken place that has mélangé and has created a mix of the identity that we call in the geographical space of Cameroon today. That's a lesson of history. I'll just get him to understand that point number one. You do not come here with a spirit and a notion that assumes that you have a superior understanding of the history of the development of our identity. This is the kind of arrogance that makes it impossible for us to have effective dialogue. Do not treat people as people who have taken leaves of their intellectual senses. We have a perspective and an understanding of the development of our identity. And we are saying that you would bring your position to that conversation as one among many positions. So that notion of the superiority of the state, the one and indivisibility of the state, which unfortunately and very shamefully is a copy and paste of the French Constitution that is void of anything Cameroon, you should quite frankly be ashamed to even pronounce that. I think that Professor Owona, who headed that commission that came up with that phrase of the one and indivisible Cameroon, should have gone back into the history of the Bantu people and found something of our identity to point us to, instead of getting a phrase from the French Constitution to tie us back. That's point number two. Coming back to your question in point and directed form. This is essentially a political question. We are dealing with a political question. L'armée camerounaise n'a rien à y voir dans ce conflit. Le Cameroun n'est pas sur attaque. Il n'y a pas une atteinte à l'intégrité territoriale du Cameroun. Il y a les enfants du Cameroun qui ne sont pas satisfaits avec leur traitement au Cameroun. Ils ont voulu avoir une audience avec un gouvernement qui était sourd et muet, qui ne voulait rien entendre. Malheureusement, ils ont pris les armes. Donc, way forward proposals, this conflict should be treated as the political conflict that it is. We must have a series of engagements and dialogues. A series of dialogues, first of all, amongst us as Anglophones and Southern Cameroonians. That is why we encourage the government of Cameroon and all the stakeholders to support the holding of the All Anglophone Conference to resolve the question of legitimacy, Mr. Bandakani. You may accuse people of taking leadership and wanting to bring about liberation without representative, without having a mandate. It's exactly because every effort at seeking a mandate of the people has been frustrated by certain entities that had different perspectives of how things should be solved. Authorize the organization of the All Anglophone Conference. Let the leaders of these people go and derive a mandate from the people to represent their interests. That's point number one. Point number two, this is essentially a political crisis. So my suggestion is liberate the political prisoners, empty those jails of people who have articulated a political point of view. Mr. Bandakani, in modern democracy, dans la démocratie moderne, la sécession n'est pas une anathème. It is not an abomination. There are secessionist tendencies in the US. California wants to break up. Texas wants to break up. There are secessionist tendencies in France. There are secessionist tendencies in Spain. There are secessionist tendencies in every modern democracy in the world. It is people who have a deficiency of a democratic spirit that think that people who suggest that they are dissatisfied with the system and want to pull out are enemies of the state. It is that mentality that is bringing the country to be the space where it is. It is a political issue. If you are convinced of the strength of your argument, bring the arguments to the table. And don't come here with that tendency that says that you are superior and you have weapons, so you are going to crush every contrary idea. It is that tendency that has caused these children to take guns and go into the bush. You cannot take the might of the state to crush an idea. It is incompatible. It's an asymmetric war. Send those soldiers back to the barracks. Let the leaders of this country across all the board organize a conversation that says, let us engage with each other with no arrogance. Release the parties, engage in conversations, and let us roll out a roadmap for peace. There is a historical sentiment that has caused us to be where we are. There is a correction of the history of this country that needs to happen. We may choose to do it in our generation, or we can choose to transfer this to another generation. But it ultimately needs to be resolved. And I think that people who sufficiently love Cameroon are supposed to rise up and address the issues fundamentally. Il nous faut revisiter notre histoire. C'est ça l'essentiel. Il nous faut revisiter comment est-ce que nous en sommes arrivés là. Et nous devons avoir le courage de poser les nouvelles bases de fonctionnement pour la construction d'un Cameroun là où tout le monde trouve son compte. Je ne suis pas d'une tradition politique qui estime que quelqu'un doit passer un examen pour entrer à l'ENAM pour venir devenir mon gouverneur. Dans une section de mon pays où je suis né, là où l'ombrine de mon père est enterrée, un certain ambassadeur ou un certain on va venir se poser comme un préfet, comme un sous-préfet. Il va se mettre à ordonner le chef de Balignoran comme si c'était son petit frère. These are the things that we are against. We have certain expectations. We respect our traditional leaders. Look at the treatment that is reserved by the governor of Southwest, Okala behind. Au nom de l'État unitaire. Absolutely nonsense. That is not the essence of the unitary state. They want an indivisibility of Cameroon in the arrogant mind of people like Bandakani. It's not to authorize Okala behind to command the chiefs of the Southwest to show up at meetings, to summon them. This is a violation of our essence as a people. And we are not happy about it. And it is this dissatisfaction that has caused people to take up weapons. We want our traditional leaders to be respected because we respect them. We want our leaders to be elected so that they are accountable to us, not to a central government. We want our mayors to be responsible for the resources that deal with our day-to-day lives, education, health, arts and culture, agriculture. These are not supposed to be managed by technocrats who have bribed their way into an institution to come and boss over us. They are walking around in our territory behaving as if they own us. No. No. That is not an understanding of a national state.
Docteur Gabila, je pense qu'on a reçu la quintessence de votre message. Et puis, comme on est là, justement, c'est un débat, nous allons simplement, Louise, donner d'abord la possibilité au président Bandakani, qui va donc prendre aussi sa deuxième prise de parole pour répondre et éventuellement à